Welcome back, everybody. Real quick before we dive into today's video, I just want to announce the winner for the giveaway that I had for the Uroless Foil Borderless Skyclave Hierophant, as well as the Rings of Brighthearth. And congratulations, Mike Lee, aka Kenji. Congratulations on winning the event, bud. So, in today's video, I'm going to pin your name to the comments. Just reach out to me at facebook.com/untapyourgo or join the Discord. And then I'll be able to get your mailing address and send you those cards right away. So let's hop right into today's video. Congratulations again. Welcome back, everybody. It's Untap Your Go, and today we're going to be taking a look at Temur Ramp, aka Uroless Golos, considering the fact that Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, is now banned. So for those of you who are familiar, I played this deck already before, and we had Uro in the list, but we no longer have access to Uro, so there are only subtle changes. Breaking down the deck, we have 2 copies of Gilded Goose to be able to have a little bit of early ramp. It's not necessarily needed, but if we can have this on turn 1 into a turn 3 Dryad of the Elysian Grove or Radha and have some lands to follow up with, we're in some pretty good shape. We're also playing all 4 copies of Paradise Druid because this is probably one of the best 2-drops we have access to as far as ramp goes, because your opponent can't deal with it outside of a board wipe. And then we're playing 4 copies of Growth Spiral to be able to draw a card at instant speed and put a land from our hand onto the battlefield. It is almost Uro. If it gained life, it would be Uro's effect. Getting into the replacements for Uro, we do have the 3 copies of Dryad of the Elysian Grove. The original list had 2. We went up 1 extra copy. This chromatics all of your lands, so it gives all your lands each basic land type, and you can play an additional land each turn. With that, it's also a 2/4 that just blocks for days, so it's a really good body for the raid at 3. Playing the 2 copies of Radha because with that activation, we can actually close out the game and sometimes just get a 1-shot. Plus, it's going to help us find lands off the top. All 4 copies of Chromatic Lantern because, obviously, our mana is very stressed as it is, and we're playing all 4 copies of Genesis Ultimatum in this deck, plus we need to activate Golos. Chromatic Lantern and Dryad of the Elysian Grove are both going to help chromatic our lands, but this also taps for a mana itself, and it's an artifact, so it dodges most removal. Getting the Golos, we're playing all 4 copies. It's a 5-mana 3/5. When it enters the battlefield, you can search your library for any land, goes straight into play tapped, and then you can pay 2 colorless and Werberg, so 7 mana total, to exile the top 3 cards of your library, and you can play them without paying their mana costs this turn. Having Golos in play already is ideal, but if we don't have it in play first, hopefully we have a Nyxbloom Ancient in play. And this is a 7-mana 5/5 with Trample. Whenever you tap a permanent for mana, it triples the mana production. So with our Cascading Cataracts, you pay 5 and tap this to add 5 mana in any combination of colors. You're paying 6 to get 5 mana. So if anything, you lose rate, but with Nyxbloom Ancient, you're paying 6 mana to get 15 mana. You're getting 15 mana, guys, off of 1 activation. And if you have multiples, you can just imagine how absurd it is in combination with the Nyxbloom Ancient. All 4 copies of Genesis Ultimatum. When you play this, you look at the top 5 of your library. You can put any number of permanents, reveal this way, into play for free, and everything else goes to your hand. So no matter what, you get all 5 cards off the top, no matter what. And if they're all permanents, you're obviously winning the game because your permanents are Ugin and Ulamog. Ulamog, when this comes in, you don't get the cast trigger, but it's not uncommon for you to get the cast trigger very easily in this deck because of the mana production, again, is super, super, super good. And then we're playing 3 copies of Ugin. This is going to wipe the board for our opponent, and in most cases, be the reason we win the game by bolting our opponent and just keeping everything they have in play off of the board. And then in the mana base, we just have a couple basics, to complement the Fable Passages in here. Mostly green, blue in this deck. We're playing all 4 Breeding Pools, 3 Hinterland Harbors, only playing 2 Stomping Ground and 2 Pathway because, again, we really don't need the red at all. Like, this is a green-blue deck at heart. We're splashing red for the Genesis Ultimatum and a couple cards out of the sideboard. So the red mana isn't that necessary, and we're already playing a ton to support it. Then some of our silver bullets include Scavenger Grounds to be able to exile your opponent's graveyard, the Cascading Cataracts. This is a must play. You have to play this in this deck because with Nyxbloom Ancient tripling the mana, it's super good. With Golos coming in, it fetches it out of the deck for you, so you have it very consistently. This is essentially a couple extra copies of chromaticing our lands, so as long as we have 6 or more lands in play, all of our lands have all types again. So this is just, again, to add some redundancy to the deck to make sure that our mana is always 5 color. And then cover the last card, we're also playing a copy of Blast Zone in the main. This is another just good silver bullet. You can grab it when you need it and blow things up. Pretty short and sweet. Sideboard, we're playing all 4 copies of Negate because Control is a very hard matchup for us, especially without Uro, because Uro gave us a lot of reach against that deck. Not having it means we have to rely on hitting our Ulamogs and our Ugins and all this stuff. So our opponents our opponents have to counter all of our problematic threats. That's how they stop us. Negate is going to stop them from doing so. Then we're playing 2 copies of Cinderclasm against some early aggression. I wanted to play all 4 copies here, but we're already stressing the mana for red as it is. So we just the 2 here are fine. You have to spend double red in order to get the full benefit out of this card. You could also choose Flame Sweep if you want, but there's a lot of X1s in the format, so having this for 2 mana instead of having to wait till turn 3 can be the difference between winning and losing a game. And then we're playing 2 copies of Broken Bond. Our opponents are most likely going to bring in Grafdigger's Cage against us. It's very good against us, and it doesn't shut the deck off, but it makes the deck a lot harder to win and function normally. So bring these in if you know you're going to go up against the matchup that they're going to bring it in. Plus, it has the upside of putting a land into play for us, which is why I chose this card in particular. I know it's sorcery, and it's not as good as like Wilt or green, you generic destroy something. But this card, it's just been putting in the work for me. And then I'm playing 2 copies of Pulse Marasa. This is again against some aggressive matchups or control. So if you know you need to hit a land drop, or if you need to buy back a creature, you can play it. And then if you know you're going to get beat down by mono red or something, or goblins, get that 6 life. It's very good here. 2 copies of Commit to Memory. So the commit part is pretty good against control, and that's pretty cool. You can counter stuff or whatever. Soft counter, you put it to the top. But memory is really good because if we're going up against mill, it just gives us a chance. Because if they're milling us, we're already milling ourselves. Like playing Golos, Genesis Ultimatum, and revealing all these cards, it's not uncommon that you just simply can't beat your opponent before you run out of cards. And that has happened to me a couple times. So memory is just really good here to make sure that you can shuffle your graveyard back and just keep going. And then 2 copies of Shifting Ceratops. Mono Blue Tempo and Dimir Rogues have just been crushing me in ranked lately, historic especially. I don't know what the popularity is. I don't know where it came from, outside of standard anyway. But Shifting Ceratops just seems like a really good card here right now because 1, can't be countered, and there's a lot of decks that counter your cards right now. So having a creature that can't be countered and protection from blue means that you can shut off like an entire archetype. Like if you're going against Mono Blue Tempo, this is a slam dunk, obviously, because it has reach. It can block all their creatures. Protection from blue, which means none of their cards can interact with it, and it can't be countered. It's a must play here. 1 copy of River's Rebuke to finish off the sideboard, and this is again to kind of deal with some problematic permanents. Like if your opponent brings in Grafdigger's Cage in the numbers, like if they're already playing it in the main board, they're probably going to have more on the sideboard to bring in. And if you can't find your Broken Bond, River's Rebuke will at least bounce it all for a turn if you know you will have the mana to be able to go off. And that is Uroless Golos. So we're going to take this into some best of 3 today and see how we do, and see if this deck still has the ability to compete and go over the top of most decks and just get to that late game and just crush. So leave a like on today's video if you guys like it. Please, it really helps the channel. And please hit that subscribe and the bell. And thank you guys all very much in advance for your support. It means a ton. And if you guys are new here, definitely check in because I upload daily for the most part, and I'm all over the place. Standard, historic, brawl, limited occasionally. I do giveaways. We're going to hop in. Let's do it. Going into game 1 against Scourge. So it's a good way of spelling it. Scourge. Going up against Scourge, and we're on the draw. So we're going to keep this. This is a pretty good hand. Paradise Druid into Dryad. If we can find some more lands off the top, this Nyx Bloom Ancient is going to be bananas. And Radha is definitely going to help that for sure. We'll lead off with the Breeding Pool. Guardian of Thraben. Okay, that's pretty good. Play our Paradise Druid. It dodges all their removal, which I don't think they would even play necessarily. And if they did, they're just nerfing themselves with the Thalia, but... Alright, Hushbringer. So it's just straight up black-white aristocrats. Or like Death and Taxes. Okay. That's cool, that's cool. So we missed our land drop, unfortunately. So we're going to play our Dryad of the Elysian Grove. This taps for all mana, this taps for all mana. We'll just play it out like that. If our opponent decides to deal with the Dryad, then we'll crack these Fabled Passages and get the according colors. Redain. Snowlands, that's irrelevant. Oh, God. Ugin costs 11, guys. We'll still get there. You give us enough time, we're going to get there. Pass the damage. My turn. Awesome, awesome. So we found a land off the top. We're going to play Radha first. As not a land, so we're going to try to sacrifice our Fabled Passage. Let's get ourselves another green, actually. Still no land off the top. Play this out for red. And they could very easily board wipe, but I don't see why they would. They have a lot of creatures already. No attacks. Now we have blockers. Outside of Hushbringer, we can't stop, or the Redain. But we can block the Thalia. Murderous Rider is pretty good. Makes sense. Giving us the ability to play off the top is pretty good for us. Sure. 3 mana growth spiral is not very good. And we just keep passing. So we have 3, 6, 7 mana. We can get to Nyx Bloom, and if we can get to Nyx Bloom, that means we get to Ugin. We just need one more turn. It's an interesting deck, though, that our opponent's playing. Yep. So we have to slam this. And hope that the last card in hand is not another Murderous Rider. Otherwise, we're pretty dead. If they kill our Nyx Bloom agent, we're just gonna go into game 2. Alright, Tithe Taker, that's not bad. Which means we stabilize. So much text on this one card, I can't even... Where's the ability? Cool. Smith, add 15. Big baby Ugin. It was Ugin or bust for both of us, basically. Alright, so they probably have Grafdigger's Cage, I would imagine. And they're also very low to the ground. X1, X1, X1. Cinderclasm is good here. Negate's not too bad, but they don't have a whole lot of not counters, but they don't have a whole lot of targeted removal outside of the Murderous Rider. So we'll bring in the Cinderclasms. Probably going to bring in the Broken Bonds. They could be dead, though. Those could be completely dead bringing in here. I'm not sure. Spell of Permanence, not super relevant. Bring in one Pulse of Marasa. We'll try it like that first before we make any hasty sideboarding stuff. Go down one Genesis Ultimatum, one Chromatic Lantern, one Paradise Druid, one Uro. And let's go down one Ulamog. Even though we could easily get that mana. It's a pretty aggressive deck. We got kind of lucky there. If they had had the Murderous Rider for the Nyx Bloom instead of killing the other thing, we would have been in a complete shit show. But we're gonna mulligan though. That first hand was bad. This hand is not much better. We're not doing a whole lot. We do get the mana for Genesis Ultimatum thanks to World Tree. I mean, this is fine, actually. I feel like if this deck can't beat us in time, we just kind of go off. That's fine. This might have been kind of greedy, keeping these. Yeah, probably. We'll play the Goose. It's probably not going to last too long. But we found an Ugin off the top, so keeping the Genesis Ultimatum wasn't that great. Yep. Oh, that's single-handedly going to kill us, I think. we're gonna honestly chalk this one up as a loss right away and just go to game 3 because we're not doing anything for a very long time. There's not really much else I can bring in against this deck. I just have to have the Cinderclasm if I'm going to deal with that. Alright, game 1 was pretty intense and we got lucky. Game 2 was a shit show. We're on the play and we have the Cinderclasm and a Golos. And 2 red sources. It's almost like Arena was like, you're going to win this game, bud. Now we just have to take the cards that we're given and play them correctly. Which means we're probably going to lose. Selfless Savior. Alright, so Radha is good. Feel like we just play the island and pass. See what our opponent plays. If they play Thalia, that sucks. Yeah, that's fine though. We'll get them next time. Alright, so let's play Radha. Give him something to try to kill. If he plays Murderous Rider, I'm pretty sure the spell have Swift End costs 4. Yeah, so we can't kill it, which means it'll protect our life total a little bit. Son of a bitch. We're actually still in pretty good shape. Keeping the Savior alive seems pretty good. Opponent. Oh yeah, he's indestructible. See what I said about playing the cards right? I'm sure some neckbeard is going to be in the comments just roasting how bad of a player I am. We have Goalless activation next turn. Clackbridge Troll, okay. Yeah, we're sacking a dude. Goalless activation. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. Double Genesis Ultimatum. Yeah, the Arena Gods were like, dude, you're such a bad player, but we're not letting you lose. Like, they refused to let me get a defeat there. Going into our second game against Tipping Deg, and again, this is a pretty solid hand, so we're gonna keep this. Double Growth Spiral into Dryad, Golos, yeah, this is solid. The only thing that's missing at this point is lands. Genesis Ultimatum off the top too is pretty solid because if our Golos gets killed in any way. Oh, never mind. Okay, up against Mono Red. Up against Mono Red in the semifinals. Oh, that sucks. If I had played that better, I could have used the Gilded Goose. So Growth Spiral only lets you play the front half of the card. Noted. Alright, Mono Red. This is going to be fun. I want to try to find a land here. And we could try to play the... well. If we try to play the Goose, it's just probably going to die to a shock, or it's not going to be a very good blocker. I guess we have to play the Dryad. Missing our land drop there kind of sucks, but hopefully we'll recover. Roaming up ruin for our opponents, and they got an Experimental Frenzy, so that's pretty cool. They're going to find some resources off the top for sure. They can play Embercleave too, that's something to be mindful of. They have to destroy the enchantment before they can play it. Which is fine, eventually they'll have enough mana from these Steamkins. Huh. Is this a Storm deck? Shatter Skull Smashing for 2 to generate the mana? It is. It is a Storm deck. Oh, this looks so fun. Yeah, this is okay. Wow, this is so cool. Yushina Pyromancer? Okay. I'm not sure if I would play that or not. You definitely play the Steamkins, the Burning Tree Emissaries, the Burgie, and the Experimental Frenzy. Like, those 4 are a must. Missed our land drop again. We're gonna try to draw a card. Find a land, please. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Play our Goose. We're like mighty dead though. I want to see more of this deck though. Did he just add the mana? Oh. Maybe he was trying to destroy the Experimental Frenzy? Well, we are like we are mighty dead. Alright, so they're basically mono red. Cinderclasm, definitely. Negate's good against like the Experimental Frenzies. It's not really like great to counter a Shock or a Shatter Skull or anything. River's Rebuke is a little too slow. Commit's okay, but again, it's a little slow, even at 4 mana. Pulse Marassa is probably good here, getting the 6 life. Alright, so we gotta make 4 cuts. We'll go down 1 Chromatic Lantern. Go down 1 Golos. Keep the Paradise Druids, they're pretty good, having hexproof. Radha's probably fine. Probably go down an Ulamog. It's pretty high up there. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm just going to cut both the Ulamogs. This deck is really aggressive. And we're already not packing enough removal or interaction necessarily to begin with, so... Alright, we're on the play. Not having any red mana really sucks. We have the Cinderclasm. We're already, like, at a huge disadvantage not having the red source, so the runaway Steamkins are going to get too big. Our Growth Spiral could find us a land, Radha could find us a land, but we need the red source. This is risky. we're gonna keep. God bless you, pup. So always say hello to the pup. Of course, with the matching sleeves. Alright, so they are Gruul, actually. Oh, this feels really bad. I almost hit decline. I would have been really upset. Alright, so we need one more red source before this is actually relevant, but... Again, we chose this over Flame Sweep. Just because it's a turn quicker against, you know, X1s. In this case, you know, we definitely want the extra red, and there it is. So I could try to play Radha, get a land off the top, but I feel like Chromatic Lantern is just safe. Make sure that we have it, plus all of our mana taps for everything, so we're in much better shape than we were. And if they find a runaway Steamkin off the top, we're even better, because then we can just nuke it. And there's a light up at the stage. Another Viashina Pyromancer. Alright, opponent's got us pretty close to the Mighty Dead. 3 here. So we would not be able to do both. Do I hold the Cinderclasm? Or do I just fire it? I mean, we're pretty close to dead to targeted removal or targeted damage anyway. We might just go to attacks. Can we catch him with the Embercleave? No, we can't. Okay. Hit us to the face with the shock. Keeps his Soulscar Mage alive. Yeah, I guess I probably should have played it on my turn. It's okay. Oh, we're like super dead though. Golos gets us Blast soon. Three, 6, 7. Alright, so we block the Burgie. We have to. And if our opponent happens to find a shock off the top, or Shatter Skull smashing, okay. Wait, that's still fine. No, it's not, because he's dead, but I mean, we're not dead, so Genesis Ultimatum? Rip. Not the best. Oh, that's good. Oh, we're dead to a shock. Yeah. Good game. I mean, we were like close to making a comeback, but there really was not much we can do. Going into the third and final game against X-Sage, and this hand would be so good if we just had a blue source. We're on the draw. The chances of actually drawing into the blue source, though, are very slim. Alright, we're going to mulligan. Yeah, this hand's better, I guess. We'll bottom Golos. Alright. Triumph for our opponent. Ketria Triumph. So they're in Temur. Just like us. Sick. Well, it doesn't really matter what we lead off with. Guess I'll lead off with the Breeding Pool and pass. I mean, we're really up against what seems to be a slower matchup. Alright, a Zaggoth Triumph for our opponent. Ooh. Lamag. That's a pretty good draw. Go ahead and get our additional land. And next turn we have Golos, followed by Golos activation, followed by Ulimog. No. Our worst enemy, an uncommon from Kaldheim. Power creep is real. It is very real. So we're actually going to use Golos to get the other World Tree into play. Which makes a lot more sense. Then we can just get the Cascading Cataracts next turn. Assuming he doesn't kill it. Go ahead. Do your scry. To the bottom, we'll take action. Alright, all of our colors tap for all colors. Or all of our lands tap for all colors. Another Triumph. Binding the Old Gods is so good. I guess that's why they play the Catcher Triumph, just because it's the forest type. Nico Bolas. So we'll discard our World Tree. Alright, not the best. Definitely not the best. But it helped us out a little bit. I guess our opponent's more than likely going to want a board wipe. I'm surprised I didn't deal with Golos last turn unless I didn't have it. Bigger Bolus. Yep, that makes sense. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, Ugin's good here. Yeah, I think we just Ulamog. Exile both the Boluses. The Bolis. Both Boli. Get in for 3 and hope our opponent doesn't have an Extinction event. Dang. Okay, cool. So going into game 2, they're playing a Sultai Control. Definitely going to be playing Broken Bond. Commit to Memory is good here. Negate's probably good here. Play 1 Shifting Ceratops, seems fine. Go down to Golos, go down an Ulamog. Go down a Chromatic. Dryad, Growth Spiral. Ultimatum. How many lands are we playing total? 25. We could actually cut a land. We could afford it. Go ahead. Do that. I think we'll go down 1 Paradise Druid. Alright, let's try it like that. Going into the second game of our third match, and this is actually decent. This is not bad. I mean, we can rely on the negate to prevent them from doing anything super crazy early on or in the late game. Chromatic Lantern will fix our mana. Radha will find us more lands off the top, and Shifting Ceratops can't be countered. So this seems like a pretty optimal hand, actually. Our opponent with the Kit, and me with the Doge. We were mortal enemies since forever. Ugin off the top is kind of a little soon. I don't think we even really need it, necessarily. Yeah, we'll just hold up the island. Definitely have to counter that for sure. Alright, here's to hoping our opponent doesn't have another one. We're going to play the Chromatic Lantern. Hopefully they don't have another Agonizing Remorse, then we can just play our Shifting Ceratops. Okay, that sucks. But what are you going to do? Shifting Ceratops dodges... Doesn't dodge Binding of the Old Gods, but it dodges their Bolus. It's not super relevant, but it could add up. Let's play Radha first. Yikes. That's not what you want to see on top, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I present Ulamog. Yep. And it sucks we don't have the triple green. Hmm. I'm going to play the Chromatic Lantern first. Bottom the Ulamog. Or bin the Ulamog. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, snap. That was really good. So this is just Bullish Tribal. It's like four. It's like four color. No, five color. Five color Grix. Bolus Tribal. Four color Bolus Tribal. Ew, bro. Ew. And that's how you play the green. Ugh. Absolutely disgusting. Okay, Maze Mind Tome for our opponent too. Put us down to 14. Can't even play it. Alright, guys, we're going into the next one. Yikes. Definitely bringing in that fourth negate. And that second shifting Ceratops. Well, actually, the shifting Ceratops isn't even great. Having haste is okay. And they can't counter it, but I mean, it can be hit by everything. Like, the more I think about it. Go down one Nyx Bloom Ancient. Let's honestly just cut the Ulamog. Alright, we're on the play. Yeah, actually, I'm going to keep this. Growth Spiral finds us cards. It really just depends on the draws. Enters tapped. That's it. Always with the Agonizing Remorse. Alright, opponent gets our Ugin. Realizes we're not doing much else. Ah, they take the Growth Spiral. So they probably have another Agonizing Remorse. Let's play that Chromatic Lantern. It's a good draw. That's another good draw. What does Blast Zone kill for us? Kills Bolus. 3, 6, 7. Alright, so we can only put one counter on it. Alright. Commit's not terrible. We can hold it up as a counterspell if we have to. We'll go ahead and put one more counter here. Cascading Cataracts is not great. This isn't great either. Gives them a new grip. Well, we actually still have our negate mana, so that's actually really good. That worked out great. Yep. So we have 4, 7, 8. So we have enough to play Genesis Ultimatum too. I think I'm just gonna play that. Not the worst. We will pay the light. Now we have enough to hold up our commit. Well, actually, let's see. We could just straight up play Golos. I think what I actually want to do is give this haste. Attack our opponent for 7, and then we can hold up our commit and our negate. Alright, we're in good position. That's actually fine. We have to let that resolve. If we counter that and he has a board wipe, we're screwed. So we just let him take one of the counter spells. Another triumph for our opponent. Opponent knew I had it. They had to draw it out. So they could have another one. We're going to Growth Spiral, hopefully find... I guess that's not the worst. 5. Okay, yeah, we definitely have enough to play Golos and activate it. We're going to get the other Cascade and Cataracts in case we hit a guy. The dude. Sure. Sure. I don't even really want to minus here. I think I'm just going to plus. Alright, sick. Alright, out of all the ways that we could possibly kill our opponent, I want to do it with the Radha. Ooh, Nico Bolas. Deals 7 damage to target opponent, creature, or an opponent controls. What? Wow, that was close. Holy crap. Thanks, Gilded Goose. Bro, good game. Good game. Welcome back, everybody. If you made it this far, it means you've made it to the wrap-up, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, you might as well click that subscribe button, as well as leave a like on today's video. And while you're at it, why don't you leave a comment down below, too, if you have any suggestions for any cards that I'm missing in the deck, or if you have any other decks that you want me to try on camera. With that being said, we won 2 of our 3 matches, which is awesome. Like, we crushed it today. Temur Goalless for the win. We lost to Mono Red. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you guys enjoyed this stuff, please check out Untap or Go, and links down below in the description, as well as the deck list. You should try this one out. It's really good. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.